the red side. JWoww going for the ban fade. So JWoww as the top laner is doing bans for Gamers2. Instantaneous first two bans, Maokai, Irelia, and Xaxus bans Gnar. So 3 top lane bans right off the bat.
They are probably the 3 kings of top lane right now. Rumble is actually, although we saw him last game, a little bit less popular than he was. Not surprised to see the Jace either. That is going to be kept out of the hands of everybody on this planet. And I expect that Gamers2 will want to leave the Syndra open. That is a very solid first pick because there's nothing really that can beat it in lane. Now, the only question, of course, is whether they can afford to do that when like Zed is still on the field. They're going to ban out the Corki. Keep that out of the hands of Cedrin. It is his favorite champion. It is his comfort pick. With that, well, that might actually put the screws a little bit on end faculty here. So their whole success in that last game was dependent on Xaxus' Irelia and in the later game on Cedrin's Corki. He was very well positioned in a lot of those fights. Now, going to force both those players off of their champions, and we'll see if they can repeat that performance now in a later stage.
I want to find out what champions are going top lane because, I mean, Rumble's still open, but there's a lot of focus up there. You can't even take Jace top lane now. It's been banned out, so will be some interesting picks there, but you always know Xaxus has something up his sleeve. I was actually taking a look at his most recent solo queue performances. He's been playing a lot of Victor top lanes, so I've been really excited to see that champion come back, but something tells me he may not bring it out here. It is very matchup specific, so we'll see what happens as far as first picks. Lee Sin, jungle there for Ko. I like it. Jarvan was still effective, and I feel like it's kind of like one step down the totem pole. Kha'Zix, though, up right now, and Kiki's, I feel like his Vi was effective going in that game, but I imagine he could have snowballed much harder in a more carry-oriented jungle. So we'll see what he goes for there. First couple picks is a Zed for Pure-Fact. So going for a completely different style of mid lane.
So maybe they are going to aim towards going for that Rumble top lane here. Otherwise, they are potentially going to get stuck with an AD comp, and that's not something you generally want. Gamers2 hovering Tristana. People haven't been as much of a fan of Tristana nowadays as they were. You never do know. It might actually work out not great in lane against Graves, but not badly enough that you'll get completely shut down. We are going to see the Victor. Unless that's a placeholder, which is a possibility.
No, that's not actually a placeholder. Ocelot does play mid lane Victor, and he plays it very, very well. I've seen him actually crush some people with the mid lane Victor. He does have a weird build, and we'll talk about that depending on if he decides to go for it or not, but that is mid lane Victor for Ocelot. Of course, it could be a placeholder. It'd be a pretty bad champion to pick as a placeholder because he has actually played that quite a bit. Confused as to why he wouldn't go for a Syndra because that is still very strong. It's still up, but it's going to be a Victor for Ocelot. That takes one more champion away from Xaxus.
I think part of the problem with the Syndra pick here is specifically against Zed. It can be a really tricky matchup just because Zed is so mobile and you're so dependent on landing your skill shots and your stun in order to be effective as Syndra.
Yeah, plus as Zed, you can always just dodge the ult entirely with the death mark if you're in range. So
yeah,
some counterplay.
Yeah, it's not necessarily because Syndra has no really bad matchups. There's nothing that just says to Syndra, "Screw you, you're not having any impact on this game." But
it's kind of like Orianna. Like, you just sit in lane, you farm at long range. You're just like, I'm not actually fighting champions. I'm just killing minions here.
Yeah, I am an abattoir, not a laner. So right now, Victor is going to give them a lot of. Victor's a very straight up champion. Like, he will just hit you with his laser. He'll hit you with his Q. He'll hit you with his ult. And he'll stun you if you try and do anything. So he does a lot of straight up damage. And that's why we see him in top lane so much. We may actually be going to see him in top lane this time. We're curious if they're going to lock that. So yeah, they lock the Ahri.
And the super secret here might be that Xaxus would play like a top lane set. I would definitely think against that. But wait, okay, that will Wait, that looks like okay. Well, with an Ahri locked in, that's probably top lane Victor for JWoww. I have never seen JWoww play top lane Victor, so I am unsure about that. I was checking his match history, and he has been spamming top lane Victor. Okay, well, I guess that's the new thing. I don't know if we can blame Xaxis or JWoww for making that a thing, but with a lock in on Dr. Mundo, it's not that I'm disappointed. It's just that I wanted to see something a lot cooler. That it is a very, very big super tank. It does deal magic damage, so that's where they're going to get a little bit of that. But primarily an attack damage based team comp for faculty. Whereas Gamers2 have got a bunch of stuff all over the board. They've got 2 magic damage dealers. They got physical damage and a Tristana, a champion you don't see a whole lot anymore.
Oh, indeed. I'm a little bit curious to see how that's going to work out in the laning phase against Cedrian here. Now, Mundo, of course, he is going to have a field day. However, as you said, the rest of the team, they are going to struggle. Once Gamers2 can start getting some armor items, start getting up that, the Randuins, the Zhonyas, whatever they choose to go for, it's going to become very, very difficult. So this time in faculty are the ones, I would say, running on a timer. They need to be building up a big advantage in the early game, but that is where Gamers2 had their advantage in the last game. Now, obviously, Mundo will still take a while to scale up, get double magic resist items. But guys, we're going to go into a quick commercial break. While we're waiting, you may as well follow the channel in the bottom left corner of your screen. You can see that blue follow button. So please do that, and we will be back after this.
Against the sun, now we race. Against the sun, race. Against the sun, now we race. Against the sun, now we race. Against the sun, now we race. Against the sun.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are on to the Rift. And at this point, I think we can say absolutely nothing about this game, except possibly that the spec servers are doing something odd. But that's fine. No, it's fine. It's working fine, and it's not allowed to do anything other. Otherwise, we're going to have some problems. But anyway, this is Gamers2 versus N Faculty. We are at a 1-0 point in the series in the favor of N Faculty. I am Spuddington, and I'm still, once again, wait, I'm either still or once again, I am once again joined by Rapid Casting.
Well, we
But
need
not
to be
also
joined by all 5 players on both teams first, so we are going to have a little bit of a pause. But yes, Buddington, so we're back for Game 2, which you'd think would give Gamers2 a slight advantage, and they will need that advantage to come back in the series. They do have a top lane Victor, and the cool thing about Victor is like he has really, really good trades with his siphon power. He has really good wave clear with death ray, and he scales actually really well once you pick up all 3 of your hex core upgrades into the perfect hex core. Things get really, really crazy. The problem with that is that I feel like Dr. Mundo can just come back to top lane with a Spirit Visage, and then you kind of just never damage him ever again for the rest of the game. So Victor does have a very big damage crisis up through the early and mid game, where he is lagging a little bit behind other top laners. So we'll see if Xaxus on what is a little bit of a less threatening champion can still keep that threat up, because it was his Aurelia in game number 1 that really carried his team through those rough early and mid game phases.
Yeah, he was so convincing in that first game, but he's always been quite a carry-ish style of top laner. He's not, you know, he's not going to just always play a carry no matter what. He will play for his team, but he's always been one to try and set up for kills, for ganks across the map, roam around where possible, or farm himself up into a beast if necessary. But regardless, he just generally is quite solid in those situations. And I think a lot of this game, there's probably 2 main lanes to be keeping an eye on here, you know, of the 3. But I'd actually say that this mid lane should go roughly even. This top lane should go roughly even, but the bot lane, that's going to be where a lot of this comes down to. Can Yuki get through his laning phase in reasonably good shape, in spite of the fact that he's up against Graves Nami, which is a fearsome combination?
Jugglers will start this time on the same side of the map. Last time they were oscillated, which you would think would be something more deterministic of Gamers2's mid lane. But Spartacus, aka Ocelot, versus that Pure-Effect Zed. I'm actually really excited for this matchup. It's double assassins. I feel like Pure-Effect on Zed is a much bigger comfort pick, but Ocelot has been playing Ahri for a very long time, so pretty big comfort pick there for him as well. The most interesting lane matchup, and I've probably never said this before in my entire life, will be top lane. Because usually it's just super tanks battling it out. But you can see JWoww actually doing a really good job last hitting, pressuring Xaxus, and continuing to keep going in for those early trades.
Yeah, at the moment, that top, like, I've not seen a lot of Victor top, like laying my cards on the table on that front. Victor top is a bit of a mystery to me. I would expect that he won't have enough damage to bully out Mundo that hard early on. But Mundo probably won't be able to push him out either. He'll always be able to wave clear. Once we get to a certain point, though, expecting Xaxus to just get way too tanky for there to even be a chance of something going on against him. And that is actually going to translate into team fights as well. We're going to see probably 2 magic resist items on him, because of course he'll be hitting his big power spike, his first and second defensive items, whilst Tristana is still in her power trough. Her weak stage, where she lacks the items to really take advantage of that range.
Yeah, this is just going to be a great game for Xaxus' Mundo, because like I said, he can build Spirit Visage, he can build health and tankiness, and all he has to do is build MR, at least until the late game, and then, you know, he's going to have to worry about Yuki's Tristana, but he'll have plenty of time to get there. His early game is still going to be very, very strong, so I want to see what this Victor pick does for Gamers2, because just thinking about team compositions, I mean, I know you said you haven't cast a lot of Victor, but what team comp would you pick a Victor into, and why is it this one for Gamers2?
So this one for Gamers2, okay, so honestly, I'm actually not convinced by this one for Gamers2 with a Victor. Like, if you think about it, the style that Victor wants to play is quite immobile. Actually, there is a gank bot lane using the lantern, but nothing coming of it. So the style that Victor wants to play is like quite immobile. He wants the enemies to engage on him. But what's the rest of Gamers2's team here? They picked themselves Ari, mobile assassin. They've got Yuki on Tristana, fairly mobile AD carry, long range. Also likes to be engaged on, but there's not that much poke on the team to force the enemies to engage. Gamers2, they might actually be quite scary if they can get into a siege situation against an enemy tower. But that's really the only situation where I see Victor particularly synergizing with the rest of the team. It does work for JWoww in particular, because he's just generally a carry-ish sort of player, but I haven't seen him playing too many mages in top lane either.
Yeah, he's traditionally a big sort of like he plays a lot of like Riven, a lot of Gnar, and well, you know, maybe Riven's not banned. Gnar always will be. So I haven't been watching, like I said, I watched like one of his solo queue games and checked his match history, and there's a lot of Victor in there, but just not a champion that you really associate with him when you're thinking about how, like his champion pool for top lane. So we'll see what he does with it. Goes back, first item is a Hex Core upgrade. That's actually really interesting. So it'll give him some extra mana, some damage, and oh, Kasing in the bottom lane does disengage. There's the teleport in, coming in. JWoww, Summoner Heal saves Kikius. So no kill to be had there.
And Xaxus is left top lane to farm. Nothing comes of that for Gamers2. Even though it was a very good hook that actually started that off from Kasing. Amounted to very little. Yuki almost got the kill as Ko came in, and Dedrin went very, very low, but Nami sustained, man. It's just too good.
And that's what Cedric used in the early game of Game 1 to just stay in lane versus the Janet Graves combo. He took some bad trades early, but Mountain always had just enough mana and healing to keep him in that matchup regardless. But whenever Tristana is shoving out her lane, is winning the early game, that's going to be very, very scary. A little bit more ahead of schedule. And this is versus a Graves who might have a big mid-game power spike, but it's not going to be anywhere near as hard scaling as Tristana.
Yeah, that is going to be a big, big problem. Like I said in Champion Select, the timer is on. This composition from Gamers2, yeah, I said maybe Victor doesn't fit JWoww's playstyle. Maybe Victor doesn't fit their play style, their composition here because of the mobility, but they've got good sieging. That's all they'll need if they've got a really strong team fight. Because last game we saw them. They had this really strong team fight. They were able to take control of any part of the map they wanted, but they couldn't do anything with it. Graves that they had picked up then, they went towards a tower. They would try and get in on it, but if there was anyone there, he was too close. He couldn't stay around and hit the tower. It wasn't safe. So that now applies to Faculty instead, and Gamers2. They've got the means to close it out, so Faculty can't afford to fall as far behind as they did last time. No way.
Yeah, and Faculty, they can't always expect to come back in these games. Sooner or later, they are going to have some stuff to watch out for, like a very early dragon. Mountain comes up and he's like, wait a second. You guys are doing dragon, and misses the bubble there. Should be looking for something to help out. Teleport coming down there. Will he be able to pick it up? Just auto attack it. Oh my god, Xaxus TP'd in and stole the Baron. If he hit the cleaver there, he might have been able to pick up a kill on the Ko, but holy cow, Xaxus with a top laner Baron seal. He's whopping around onto Ocelot. Now does have to wait for the cleaver because there are little rays that did get aggroed there, but a first kill, first dragon in the game, both go to end Faculty.
Miss smite from Ku. It was so close. He was maybe 2 autos off, which is that's painful for him. Xaxus, he teleported down. He got himself the dragon. They did lose the top tower for it. JWoww was pushing pretty hard here, but I think he'll accept that, especially considering it set Soul's Pure Effect up now in this mid lane. You really have a lot more control.
Oh, Kasing, though, is in a rough spot. Gonna get the flag drop down, and then Kikius gonna find a second kill. Not sure why Kasing was there, but he did not expect to run into 2 champions. Top lane, though, JWoww just does not deal enough damage to deal with Xaxus, who, like we said, just going back, looking for a Spirit Visage. No way you're gonna be able to deal damage.
That is a potential kill, actually, now on Xaxus.
Yeah, but that's his ultimate, and Ko's only level 5. He does not have his level 6 power spike. Zazas probably could have walked in and killed him, but on the off chance that Ko hit level 6, he would have just walked in and died.
Yeah, there is always that potential, but he's so low now. Ko is just gonna... He's gonna get a decent bit of experience off these minions, so he's not gonna complain on that front. But this is actually looking pretty good for Faculty now. Their big key power points, their Zed is off the ground. Mundo, much the same, going back, getting a Giant's Belt to go with that Spectre's Cowl. So he is, oh, tanky for this stage of the game. And Gamers2 are struggling on several fronts right now.
Wait a
they
second.
are going to be a while before they power up.
Yuki just rocket jumped in and flashed back out immediately.
Oops.
I don't know if that's like a wrong button or something, but yeah, I don't know what's up with that. So flash down off of not really a whole lot of pressure. Cedrion did ult for it just to punish him a little bit harder, but at the same time, questionable bottom lane. That's something we've been talking about pretty much all game long, or for all series long, is how neither one of those bottom laners really having too big of an impact.
Yeah, well, we can't complain really about the pick for Gamers2 here so far. 73 CS to 86 is just about within acceptable margins. If you're gonna pick Tristana, you can expect to go a little bit behind early. You don't want to go too far behind, but he was able to save up for that BF sword, so, you know, he's not gonna have problems getting those items at the right times.
Oh, whoa, Zazas just pops his ultimate and goes on in there. Forces JWoww back from the minion wave, and he is just owning that. He's zoning JWoww away up top lane. And bottom lane's where the action's at. There's a rocket jump, and death sentence backwards means Ginkus will take a little bit of damage, but Bubble will catch on to Yuki. No follow-up knockup. The teleport coming bottom for JWoww. We'll see if he can find something. There's the Chaos Storm. Goes coming in from the side. Ward jump in, kicks him against the wall, but a flash out from Mountain, just barely alive. Death sentence will hit him and give a kill over to Ko. First kill of the game there for Gamers2. They find theirs, and they are only a couple thousand gold behind, but it is still very early on.
We actually have some aggression from Ocelot.
Yeah, diving through there. I did not see Ocelot rotate all the way over there. I guess for Ocelot, instead of calling them rotations, we can call them oscillations. Whoa, Ko is still going for this? He's gonna die to minions if he's not careful. All Kickers has to do is like drop a standard over the wall. That would be pretty hilarious, but it does look like Ko's safe and sound.
Yeah, that was some smart positioning there from Ocelot, actually. Good roam, but it's going to cost them mid tower, even though it gets them the bottom in return. And the teleport from JWoww, he had to fight so hard to get that one kill, and then that potentially enables the bot tower that it required a lot of time, and that's cost them the top tower as well. So even though they get the kills, that may not have been worth it. They've lost a lot of map control, or even though they go roughly even on the gold. Gamers2 still not going out without a fight here. Their early game and their sort of early mid game rotations have not been their problem though in the past. We'll see if they can actually go toe to toe with Faculty, who now have the advantage and all the tools in the world to try and start building themselves up a big snowball.
I just took a look at Zazas' rune page. He has 26 points in defense with an extra point in evasive, which reduces damage taken from area of effect magic damage. So yeah, like I said, there's no way that JWoww will ever be able to kill him. He also has this really weird mastery setup, or rune setup, where he's got like hybrid pen marks, regen, and health per level, and then like a weird mix of flat and per level magic resistance. It's like he designed this rune page specifically to counter this same style of like AP harass-based top lane champions. You know, like you'd expect from like a Rise or something. Now Ocelot gets just barely in range of Kasing's Dark Passage and makes it away from what could have been a very rough situation. But it will put 10 Faculty in a good spot for Dragon spawning in about 5 seconds.
Yep, good timing on that aggression. So they get someone, they get them low. Means free dragon, means another spike of gold, and it also means because it's not going to be contested, Soul's Perfect feels very safe to roam around right now. He's quite strong, got Blade of the Ruin King, got Ignite and Death Mark. If Yuki goes anywhere near, he's going to die.
Oh, and he follows him through the immediate jump away, has the living shadow to come back after getting buster shotted backwards, and Purefect just completely outplaying Yuki, who honestly panicked and popped the jump a little bit too early.
Yep, that's the problem with the Tristana jump. The animation on it means you can always predict when it's coming. That's why you see it get cancelled so much more than others. And that's also why we see Purefect now actually running away with his life. And I think it's worth noting right now, Kasinga's been doing a lot of roaming around, and that is why he is only level 6, while Purefect is level 11.
Now, Purefect also has Blade of the Ruined King completed, and nobody wants to come fight him here as he takes down the bottom turret for free. Now, all 3 outer turrets down for Gamers2, and they need to start putting on some pressure. Otherwise, it'll be very, very difficult for them to follow up with a 3rd turret kill of their own there in the mid lane.
So, wow, moving through the jungle. May think he's safe. He is absolutely not, but I think they're going to abandon ship for him.
Nice scrying orb to scout everybody out. So it's no mystery where End Faculty are, but I just don't think there's all that much that Gamers2 could do about it. Ocelot is all the way bottom lane going for a split push, but with Purefect already on that Blade of the Ruined King power spike, he's got his ult up in 10 seconds. He's going to come back from base with what should be the makings of like a Last Whisper or a Brutalizer or something along those lines. Yeah, he grabs the Brutalizer, comes back with another longsword, and even with the Deathfire Grasp, it's still going to be a very scary matchup for Ocelot to split push against.
Yeah, he can't do that, at least until he's got his Zhonya's, unless he can get the drop on him. If he gets the drop, gets the DFG charm, potentially then he could win that matchup out, but be very, very risky, and it's going to be very, very situational. It's not something they can rely on from a strategical standpoint. Now, of course, if they can just stall this out, they will be the winners in the long run. They know that, yeah, Mundo's really tanky right now. Yeah, he's going to be able to itemize a lot of MR, so we won't be able to burst him out. Our team fight's weak right now, but full AD comp, it's going to be a problem if the game drags on. And Faculty must know that themselves, of course, and with Gamers2 now trying to slow things down. Can we get the
Faculty
siege?
waiting in that brush. They're looking for an engage, but luckily nobody from G2 gonna go check into that.
These are the kinds of plays we didn't see from Gamers2 last game. Even though they had similar tools for creating these kinds of picks, we never saw them camping brushes. We never saw them controlling the vision and then remaining in the area. We never saw them sieging with Graves either.
Yeah, exactly. Graves not necessarily the greatest at sieging, and now okay, going top lane already. JWoww down to half HP, trying to get the wave clear coming down, but just having a little bit of a difficult time there. He upgraded his Hex Core as his first item buy, and then went straight for the Morellonomicon, which is going to be a great item for him, but it is also going to make him very, very vulnerable to being dove there. He has 0 defensive stats, and he's currently sitting on just about 1400 HP, so he will explode if they do go for these very aggressive dives. Kiki's leading the charge, and Zaz's there to tank the turret.
Yeah, and Faculty do not want to dive this, not under tower. They're not that far ahead at this point, so that means basically, since they can't siege, and again, this is the weakness of Graves, they cannot siege, they cannot directly force a fight if Gamers2 won't let them, and so they're forced to again try and make plays.
All in the mid lane, and I think Purefect could have killed Ocelot there, and he's actually gonna go back in for it. Gets one auto attack.
That was not great.
Yeah, now actually re-engaged here on a JWoww. It's attempted the flash kick right into the Chaos Storm. That'll be JWoww grabbing his first kill of the game.
Yeah, good catch up there, and well, nothing really to take off it immediately.
Whoa! Big burst from Cedrion. He will get hit by the death sentence coming back in. There's an exhaust. Does he have the damage for his buster shot back? And Ko there will keep him out of the fight for a long time. 25-second death timer there, and I feel like that could have gone so well for End Faculty if Purefect had just kept fighting Ocelot, hadn't wimped out, because then it kind of went bad from worse. From bad to worse after that.
Yeah, that was not great. I mean, the initial pick was also bad, and then Cedrian just thinks, well, I can burst this guy down. Doesn't quite count on the reaction speed, and I don't think he actually accounted for the possibility of summon a heal either, which the Yuki still has. So, not the most thought out of plays, and that is the weakness of Cedrian's style. He goes in every time, and sometimes that works against you if it's not calculated aggression. And Faculty slip just a little bit there.
Just a little bit, but it is by no means, you know, like game ending or anything. They just had an advantage, and now they maybe have a little bit less of one. One advantage they do have is the turret lead. They've taken down 2 top lane, and they've really been doing a remarkable job at combining this sort of like objective-focused gameplay where they want to group up and siege turrets with a very strong split push from Pure Effect. And I want to see this 1v1 again, and I think we'll get to see this a lot this game, as Pure Effect and Ocelot face off in the bottom lane, trying to counter each other's split pushing.
Yeah, that is the style they've gone for here. This double split push. Mundo top lane. Zed currently bot lane, but the dragon is going to be an issue. They will sacrifice it, though, if they can get that in a tower.
Yeah, but now it's actually a kickback down. Ocelot goes in for the one-shot on a Kikis. And with no jungler and Faculty, probably going to have to back off and give this dragon up.
Yeah, again, flip-ups there. Kikis is the one getting caught out this time. Well, we do see Cedrian trying to make the best of a bad situation. He's going to go for this tower. He will take half the health, roughly. And this is exerting a lot of pressure. They're drawing most of Gamers2 to top lane. No one has accounted for the possibility. Where is Perfect? What should Gamers2 be thinking right now? Where is Zed? We saw him bot lane. We knew he was there. He's still there. And now there is no one to stop him pushing unless JWoww wants to teleport. That would be, obviously, a cooldown they don't want to use. Struggling for minions right now, though.
But actually, top lane's where the action's at. Kasing very, very low. Even though Tristan has a lot of damage, just can't deal with Xaxus at this point. Looking for the easy kill on Kasing. He's going to find that one. And actually, now Ko going to go down here. Lands the cleaver after the flash in. And Xaxus coming up big with a double kill.
He is such a mundo right now.
A mundo, as it were.
Yeah, he is mundo. He is mucho mundo man. And no one can deal with him, so yeah, if he's allowed to just sit on your backline, they're all going to die. And Perfect may be about to find Ocelot.
Whoa! Checking right into Ocelot, dodges the charm. Look at those moves. Perfect. And an easy 1v1 versus Ocelot.
Yeah, you can tell when he's a little bit more prepared for his combos. That was a lot cleaner than the last time we saw it. And now Gamers2 are struggling to get vision of their own jungle. Thickest and Mountain waiting around the mid tower, but again, saving graces for Gamers2 here is their wave clear, and their stalling is actually really, really good.
Gamers2, like you said, they can draw the game out, but it feels like Power Spike for End Faculty is here, and it's going to be that much more difficult. In Faculty, they lost that last dragon, but they've been able to consistently, like we said, put out pressure around the map. Pure Effect is bottom lane by himself, and now the rest of his team's going to come join him for what should be a strong enough push to take down the second tier turret.
Ocelot tried to stop them by just going in for that charm. If he'd gotten it on Cedrian, that would have been good. It looked like End Faculty were just going to sit there and tank it out and make sure they finish the tower, and that would have been a disaster for them, but play has failed, and that will signal the death of that tower. Almost definitely. Ocelot may return. He's going to be there, so Victor can continue to clear the waves completely. It's good, but that's not good.
They're just going to go for it, taking it up with Xaxus coming through. Now Yuki is in there doing a ton of damage. Real Rocket Jump for much better positioning, but look at Xaxus go. He's on Kasing, and nobody's going to tell him no for that one. A double kill for Xaxus again in these fights. Mundo indeed finishes that off at 5-0.
We referred to Mundo as less of a carry champion, and Xaxus is kind of...
No.
Yeah.
He didn't even build carry items. He's full tank, and he's still killing everybody.
It's literally what Mundo does, though. Like, he's just a cloud of damage. Like, nothing but damage. Like, he doesn't need to build any damage, and in fact, he has very bad synergy with damage items. You just build tank, and let him sit around. But because he's so far ahead of the curve on levels right now, it doesn't matter that his damage isn't that super high, because it seems really super high, because it's like he's playing at 30 minutes and everyone else is playing at 24.
Definitely ahead of the game at this point. Comes back out of base with what else other than another Giant's Belt. This time probably looking for a Warmog's armor, and honestly, if he gets that, he's just never going to die. I mean, there is Grievous Wounds from Tristana's Explosive Shot active, and a Morellonomicon on JWoww. But in order for that Morellonomicon to get the Grievous Wounds down, you have to take Xaxus down below 40% HP, which I don't think is really ever going to happen.
That is true. I mean, yeah, Yuki's been doing a good job of keeping his regen in check, but at this point, like, he could not have an ult, or like, it could just be movement speed, and Xaxus would still be incredibly difficult to deal with for Gamers 2. Like, half effectiveness is only a minor issue.
Whoa! Flash from Mountain forced out by a nice hook coming out from Kasing. Still, I feel like maybe a little bit paranoid. Didn't really have the rest of his team there to back him up, so I guess that's understandable. Now, Xaxus might go down here. He's going to pop his ultimate, but he does have that Grievous Wounds down. A triple bubble. Mountain starting this fight off. Now looks like End Faculty coming in to finish it off. Xaxus still very, very tanky. I guess the Mikhail's heal too. Oh my gosh, Xaxus is a monster. But Kikis does go down there. Trades it out for Ocelot though, but question is, where did Ocelot die? Oh wait, look at the bottom lane, Purefect. He's on the inhibitor, and even though Kikis went in there and suicided, he was basically just stalling Gamers 2. Going in, and Cendrillon finds a big kill onto Ko, and with that, the bottom inhibitor is gonna go down. He's not taking no for an answer. Yuki might pop from the death mark. He's gonna go down. Purefect. What is this Zed play? Locked it in as his first pick in Champion Select, and has never looked back since.
We usually see Zed banned nowadays. There is a good reason for it. He is so dangerous. Not going to be picking up Ocelot this time, but the Baron is going very, very low.
Yeah, I don't think this is actually even just to do the Baron. It's just to have something to do while you wait for something else. Xaxus, whoa! Flashing into the 1v2. He knows he's tanky enough. He is going to be below 40% HP, so he's going to get the Grievous Wounds. But look at that Faculty. They're piling on behind him. He's going to grab a dominating 6th kill of the game. Xaxus. Doesn't matter what champion he's playing, he's going to carry the game.
He really is right now, and it's partly again because Gamers 2 are getting drawn into these fights where he's allowed to just run around and demolish people, but even so, he is, yeah, really, I mean, gonna be in the expansion tournament. Maybe we'll see him in the LCS again because he is just so damn good right now. Ko gonna go for a fight with Kikis, but I'm sure he's going to kill him in any reasonable amount of time. Nice!
Perfect Dragon's Rage. Kick there from Ko, kicks Kikis away from his own standard there. And now here comes Ocelot. The Ignite's going to burn him down. He gets in, but he will not get out of there. Purefect with the 5th kill of the game for himself.
Arguably worth it. Does at least take the smite out of the picture, so they can't do Baron right now. But... Ooh. Okay, fair play. Cool lift as well. So yeah, 1 for 1 is actually pretty good in this scenario for Gamers 2. But now that they've lost that bottom inhib, they are really going to struggle. We saw how much trouble they had creating good rotations for themselves, creating good map pressure for themselves when they were ahead. Now they are a long way behind. Their only hope is doing something messy and bad and getting killed.
I'm starting to hear some Robo Spuddington out there, so in the meantime, while we take care of that, like we said, it is going to be a difficult thing for Gamers 2 to deal with that split push bottom, just from the super minions, and off the back of that, End Faculty are going to try for this one. Kikis gets the smite, no steal potential there, because Ko is the one left back into base to deal with the super minions. Not quite what you want now. Oh, Kasing might be in a rough spot. Does pull Yuki over to safety. The flash in, Duncan insta-flash there for Kasing. He will escape, but having to blow just about everything to get out of there. And Faculty looking dominant.
Am I still a robot?
Nope, you are. You've been returned to human form. Probably have a lot in common with JWoww at the time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wait, what is Pure Effect doing? He's just styling on kids and trying to get a few outplays in the base, but he's just zoning off for the rest of his team. He gets shut down and gives up 500 gold to Yuki, which, you know, isn't a good thing, but he does allow the rest of his team to pick up just that much more gold by grabbing their 7th turret kill of the game.
Yeah, never completely count out a team that's got a Tristana on it has always been my rule. That was, of course, before she was nerfed, but I think this is looking pretty far out now, and Pure Effect is even starting to outstrip Xazus in terms of his sheer threat. Level 17. He is... I mean, you just compare the highest level in the game to the lowest level. 11 to 17 is just such an enormous gap. It's not like Kasing's been doing bad stuff on Thresh. He's just been so squishy compared to the amount of damage that can just be casually thrown around by Faculty that even like the stuff that's incidental and not directed towards him destroys him.
And to be fair, as far as this game goes, Ocelot is still having a good performance. He's trying for the same build he went on Syndra, the triple needlessly large rod item build. It's not bad by any means, but at the same time, Ahri is never going to take down a Dr. Mundo who's just completed Warmog's armor and has 4,001 HP. Now, oh man, it's actually JWoww top lane, way overextended with no ward coverage at all, and Faculty now in a 5v4.
Okie dokie, so 5v4, 10k advantage. Ko actually doing something quite risky there by going over for white, but gonna get that. Pure Effect is in the bot lane. They're gonna have to back something here. Probably gonna be the inhib. Honestly, they'll let that go and hope that they can draw a fight to their advantage, like get a good hook or something. But really, the options for Gamers2 here are all bad and all very limited.
They are running out of the bottom lane. Pure Effect is just going to take the bottom inhibitor for free. I feel like Zed's just going to win the game as Gamers2 are starting a fight up top lane. JWoww goes back to take care of Zed. Look at Yuki. He's going to get bubbled up there at the end, and Xazus way on top of him. Teleport in from JWoww. He stops the super minions down bottom. Kick is going to have to get out of dodge. Xazus turns on the ultimate. A godlike Xazus now on to Kasing. He's going to pick up his 8th kill of the game. He's flashing in, lands a cleaver, and now JWoww, all's over but the crying at this point. Lands a stun, but a triple kill there for Xazus. Mom, get the camera, because this is going to be a picture-perfect finish for Faculty, and they will get the GGs from Gamers2, come out to a 2-0 victory over G2 here in the Hitbox Challenger Face-Off.
Not to be outdone by Soz is Xazus. The 2 pickups that Faculty pulled in for the expansion tournament, and they have looked so good this whole series. They have really stepped up their game since the days of their previous jungler Prombear. Sorry. Prombear wasn't their jungler, was he?
Well, keep in mind, this is without their current jungler, Obvious, who's one of the best junglers outside of LCS, at least in the Challenger scene. Obvious went over to Faculty, and even though he's not playing here, this is still a very strong performance, even without their full lineup.
Yeah, so Gamers2 got a lot to work on themselves, honestly. They have struggled this series, and yeah, they're in the expansion tournament, but they're being grandfathered in, as it were. They are in because they were in promotions, not because they qualified on the ranked ladder. We have no idea how they'll match up. Maybe this tournament isn't important enough to them. Maybe they're holding on to some strats they can use, but it seemed to me like they've had fairly good, good plans going into these games. Fairly simple plans. They just haven't executed them correctly.
As far as the execution, whoa, okay, there goes Spartacus, aka Ocelot, looking for the kill onto Cedrion, turns the big burst back around, and now Xazus gonna go in there and goes legendary 10, 0, and 2. Now Onika Singh just nowhere to run. Xazus, he's got a mission of his own. I don't think the rest of his team is too concerned, but he is gonna get that 11th kill, and he will find it there. Onika Singh, 11 and 0. There's the 4-0 surrender boat. Xazus TPing in for the photo finish. It'll be a 2-0 victory. Yeah, he's running back away from there. He's like, all
I
right,
must
I got
return home. My planet needs me.
Well, and Faculty certainly needed him that game. 11 kills on the board, and an equally big performance from Pure Fact. He finished the game with a score of 8, 2, and 5. Just absolutely incredible. An 11 kill streak for Zazas, just monstrous up there in the top lane. And a great 2-0 victory there for N Faculty.
Yeah, very, very good performance from them, and honestly not what I was expecting. I mean, Gamers2 obviously had that big advantage in the first game. They couldn't quite close out, and Faculty showed, give them an inch and they will take a mile. They got, what, 2k ahead? Then it became 4k ahead, then it became 6, and suddenly Soz Purefect was 6-0, Zazas was a monster, and at that point, more or less over, but for the crying, as you said. And Gamers2, well, I'd imagine they won't be crying. You never know.
Yeah, Gamers2 have a lot of things ahead of them. Expansion tournament, more tournaments, Black Monster Cup. They got a lot on their plates, so a lot of tournaments out there, and so we'll be seeing more out of them. But we'll also be seeing more out of N Faculty as they advance on to the next round. And now we actually get a little bit of a break before we head into our second semifinal, which is going to be between Tricked Esports and H2K, if I'm not mistaken.
You are not mistaken. It will be H2K versus Tricked, so that's going to be a fun one to watch. That will be coming up pretty soon, I think. I'm not sure where we are on the scheduling versus where we are versus where we're supposed to be. Sorry, was that 3 minutes? Okay, so very, very short break indeed. We are actually getting the players into the lobby already, and I need a pee break. So we're going to be going into a quick break. I will see you after this.